Right now, thousands of families across America are discovering a horrifying truth. The moment their loved one passes away, the bank freezes every single account, not next week, not after the funeral, immediately. And suddenly, grieving families can't even access the money they need to pay for the burial, the mortgage, or basic bills because nobody filled out one simple form while there was still time. If you're a senior watching this, or if you have parents or grandparents who are I need you to stop scrolling right now because this isn't about scare tactics. This is about a real common mistake that catches millions of families off guard every single year. Banks don't warn you about this. Lawyers rarely bring it up until it's too late. And by the time families find out, it's already a legal nightmare of court dates, delays, and unnecessary stress, all during the worst moment of their lives. But here's the good news. There's a free form, something you can fill out in just minutes, that can prevent this entire situation. No lawyer fees, no complicated paperwork, just one document that could save your family from months of frustration and financial limbo. Stay with me because I'm about to show you exactly what this form is, where to get it, and how to fill it out correctly, step by step. If you think every senior in America needs to hear this, smash that like button right now. It genuinely helps get this life-saving information in front of more families who need it. Let me tell you about Dorothy, a 78-year-old widow from Ohio, because her story is exactly why I'm making this video today. When her husband passed away last spring, she thought she understood their finances. They'd been married for 52 years. They had a joint checking account, savings, even a small investment portfolio. But 2 days after the funeral, she walked into their local bank branch to pay the funeral home, and the teller told her something that made her blood run cold. The account wasn't fully joint the way she thought. Part of it was solely in her husband's name, and because there was no beneficiary form on file, that portion was frozen instantly. Frozen. Not slowed down, not delayed, completely locked, pending a legal process called probate that could take anywhere from 6 months to over a year, depending on the state and how complicated the estate turned out to be. Now, you might be thinking, that won't happen to me, my accounts are all joint with my spouse or my kids. But here's what most people don't realize. Even joint accounts can run into problems. Banks sometimes place temporary holds the moment they're notified of a death, just to review the account, verify the surviving owner's identity, and make sure there's no dispute among family members. And if you're single, widowed, or the sole owner of any account, even one account out of several, that money can be completely locked away from the very people who need it most, at the exact moment they need it most, to cover funeral costs, mortgage payments, utility bills, and basic living expenses. This is where the form comes in, and I promise you it is so much simpler than you think. It's called a Payable-on-Death designation, or POD for short. Some banks and credit unions call it a transfer-on-death form, or TOD, especially for investment and brokerage accounts. And here's the beautiful part. This form is completely free. You don't need a lawyer. You don't need to pay a filing fee. You don't need to change how you use your account day to day. You keep full control of your money for as long as you're alive. Nothing changes for you right now, but the moment you pass away, that account skips probate entirely and transfers directly to the person or people you named, often within days, sometimes even the very next business day once the bank sees a death certificate. Think about what that means. No court dates, no waiting months while lawyers sort through paperwork, no frozen funds while your family scrambles to figure out how to pay for your funeral. Just a smooth, direct transfer to the people you love exactly when they need it most. So how do you actually get this done? It's remarkably simple, and that's honestly the most frustrating part of this whole situation, because so few people know it exists. You can walk into your bank or credit union, or in many cases log into your online banking portal and ask specifically for a payable-on-death designation form, or a transfer-on-death form if it's an investment or brokerage account. Some banks will have you fill it out on the spot in about 5 minutes. Others might mail it to you or have you download it from their website. Either way, you'll be asked to list one or more beneficiaries. These are the people who will receive the account when you pass away, along with their full legal names and, ideally, their social security numbers or dates of birth to avoid any confusion later. You can name one beneficiary or split the account among several people, and you can update this form at any time if your circumstances change, say if you remarry, have a falling out, or simply want to add a grandchild down the road. One thing I want to be very clear about, because I don't want you walking away from this video with the wrong idea, a POD or TOD designation is not the same as a will, and it doesn't replace one. A will covers your entire estate, your house, your personal belongings, and anything that doesn't already have a designated beneficiary. But here's the catch that trips so many families up. Beneficiary designations on bank accounts, retirement accounts, and life insurance policies actually override what's written in your will. So if your will says everything goes to your 3 children equally, but your bank account still lists an ex-spouse as the beneficiary from 20 years ago, guess what? That ex-spouse gets that account no matter what your will says. This is why it's so important to check every single account you own, not just assume it's covered because you have a will sitting in a drawer somewhere. I also want to address something that seniors ask me constantly, which is whether adding a POD beneficiary gives that person any access or control over the account while you're still alive. And the answer is a firm no. This is one of the biggest misconceptions out there. A POD or TOD beneficiary has zero rights to the account, cannot withdraw money, cannot see your balance, cannot make any changes whatsoever until the day you pass away and the bank receives proof of death. Until that moment, it's still 100% your account, your money, your decisions. This is very different from adding someone as a joint owner, which does give them immediate access and control, and can sometimes create complications with taxes or creditors. A POD designation keeps things clean and simple. Full control for you now, seamless transfer for your loved ones later. Now let's talk about why this matters so much specifically for seniors. As we get older, the reality is that more of our financial planning needs to account for what happens when we're no longer here to manage things ourselves. And the sad truth is that families are often blindsided during one of the most emotionally difficult periods of their lives, grieving a parent, a spouse, a sibling, only to discover they're also facing a financial obstacle course they never saw coming. Funeral homes typically expect payment within days, not months. Mortgage companies don't pause payments because you're grieving. Utility companies still send their bills. And when the very money meant to cover these costs is sitting frozen in a bank vault because of missing paperwork, families are forced to take out loans, drain their own savings, or put funeral costs on high-interest credit cards, all because one simple free form was never filled out. I want you to think about the people in your life who will be handling things when you're gone. Maybe it's your daughter, your son, a niece or nephew who's always been there for you, or a close friend you trust completely. Whoever it is, imagine handing them a clear, uncomplicated path instead of a frustrating legal maze. That's the gift this form gives you the power to provide, and it costs you absolutely nothing but a few minutes of your time. Here's my honest recommendation, and I say this with real care for everyone watching this video. Take out a piece of paper right now or open a note on your phone and list every single bank account, credit union account, and investment account you own. Then call each institution or check their website and ask 2 simple questions. First, does this account currently have a payable-on-death or transfer-on-death designation? And second, if not, how do I add one today? Most banks can walk you through this over the phone in under 10 minutes. Some will even email you the form so you can fill it out from the comfort of your living room. And if you already have beneficiaries listed, don't just assume they're up to date. Take a moment to confirm the names are still accurate, especially if there's been a divorce, a remarriage, a death in the family, or simply a change of heart about who you want to receive that money. These forms can be updated as often as you like, and it genuinely takes just a few minutes each time. Before you go, I want you to do one more thing for me, and it costs you nothing. If this video opened your eyes to something you didn't know before, or if you're planning to check your own accounts after watching this, hit that like button right now. It genuinely helps this video reach more seniors and more families who need this information before it's too late. And if you have a parent, a grandparent, or an elderly neighbor who could benefit from hearing this, please consider sharing this video with them today, not next week, not someday, today, because the best time to fill out this form is right now, while there's no urgency, no grief, and no pressure. Stay with me, because in the next part of this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what questions to ask your bank, what documents you'll need on hand, and a few critical mistakes that even well-meaning families make when setting these beneficiaries up.